Hi, I'm Cody Kalem, Service Manager here at Kunes, CDJR Sycamore. Welcome to another episode of Kunes Car Combos. Today we're going to be driving around with Bree and Zach from Harrelsons Bike for a Cause in a 2024 Ram 1500 Longhorn. Zach, you're the one that started Harrelsons Bike for a Cause?
Yes, started that in April of 2023 on Mother's Day weekend.
Might have been May. I don't remember.
What was the reason behind that?
Well, truthfully, we went to one of the local towns in the area. Cortland has like a garage sale, like a townwide thing. And we went and saw a couple bikes that we recognized from our childhood and figured, hey, we could get these for the neighbor kid whose parents are a little lower income and couldn't afford to get him one for his birthday, so we grabbed it and fixed it up and gave it to him for his birthday.
So it all started with just a neighbor kid.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you guys started this, did you guys think it was going to end up being
Absolutely
something
not.
crazy?
I never thought it would blow up the way it did.
Yeah, it definitely blew up very hard. We gave it the bike to the neighborhood, and then his friend who lived in the neighborhood also was like, I don't have a bike. And we were like, oh, well, we got another one here, hold on. And we got that one fixed up for him, and then he posted on one of the local Facebook pages, and before we knew it, we had people commenting, trying to give us bikes to fix up for other people.
So everything you guys take in is basically donated then?
Yeah.
People are just giving you guys...
Yeah, essentially, we have a Facebook page, Harrelsons Bikes for a Cause, and people can reach out to us on that to donate bikes or parts or whatever. There's a local guy, his name's Paul. He has a YouTube channel called Scrap and Pallet Man, and he picks up scrap metal, and whenever he sees bikes in the trash, he brings those to us too.
So let me ask, what does your guys' house look like?
It's a bike massacre.
Looks like
It
a
happened
bike
in
shop
the backyard. Yeah, the backyard is full of bikes. The garage is full of bikes.
So when you guys are getting these, they're obviously not... I'm gonna assume that they're not taken well care of bikes.
Most
They're
of them not.
junk. Again, if that guy's getting them out of the junk,
Uh-huh.
then they're junk.
They
Yeah.
come in a range of, some of them are actually rideable to some need just about everything from brakes, tires, chains. So we get a variety of them.
And then you guys obviously, so you just take 5 bikes, make one type of deal?
It depends. So a lot of the times we buy parts like when we see them on sale or whatever. So I have a huge stockpile of bike tubes right now that I bought from Walmart when they were on sale. And so like we might have some bikes that have bent rims, so that bike we wouldn't be able to use that rim, but we might be able to steal it off of another bike that, say, the frame was bent.
Sure.
So we use every part we can.
Wow. And now you guys, how do you get them to the killers? Okay, you guys get a bike, you guys fix it up. How does it get off to another kid that's in need?
Well, they can either pick them up from us, we can schedule a pickup, or a lot of the time the families that get bikes don't have cars either, so we do a lot of deliveries too.
So if I had somebody that I was like, okay, this child needs a bike, I just come knock on your door and tell you I need a bike.
We have a Google form. It's also on our Facebook page that can be filled out, and it asks all questions from, does your kid need training wheels, what size bike, if you don't know what size bike, how old is the child, and things of that nature. We even have, do you have a preferred color? That way if we have multiples of one size bike, we can try to get the kid the color that they prefer too.
I didn't even think about the whole training wheels on. You give somebody a bike that, oh, thanks for the bike, but I can't really use it.
Helmets, too.
So what's the biggest challenges you guys face then? Obviously getting the parts, and not all bikes are the same. So it's not just because somebody drops off 15 bikes, none of the parts may be the same.
Yeah, I would say challenges are definitely financial as well as time. At this point, it's just the two of us. And then we have another guy we've been friends with for 15 years who helps us when he can. But it's mainly us, and we gave away over 100 bikes last year. So
Over 100?
Over 100. We also do repairs, like hypothetically, say you had a bike that you needed a new sprocket on or whatever, we could do that for you.
All at no charge.
Yeah.
You guys are just strictly just trying to help. Wow. And then if somebody was to donate, do they just contact you again on your Facebook page then and just say, hey, this is what I have? Is there stuff you don't take? I mean, is there certain things that, okay, I'm not into this or I don't have enough of?
At this time, we have a lot of adult bikes. So I have turned a couple of adult bikes down just because I have over 100 bikes on my property right now. I don't have the space.
Well, when we take in unique stuff like tricycles, we'll try and find somebody that needs those. We've actually given a few of those away. Tandem bicycles, we'll reach out to people that might be interested in them, but it's all free.
Yeah, we also have bike carriers. So we've got 3 or 4 of those, where you attach them to your bike so you can pull behind like a toddler.
Sure.
So we've got a few of those that we've given away, and we've got a few in stock. That way, if anybody needs them. But that also, requires maintenance because you got to make sure the tires are good. You got to make sure everything's on there right. It won't disconnect from the bike, etc.
And you guys, I mean, what's it like when you're able to give a child a bike that never thought he was going to get one or hasn't had one, stuff like that?
It's really amazing. And even with the adults, we've given away probably 50 bikes to adults last year, and even the adults are super grateful. We've had multiple people who say, I don't have a car for one reason or another. This is going to help me get to work. It's going to make my life so much easier. And the kids they have a special place in my heart because I am a mom of 2, but it's really nice to just see people happy. And it makes me feel good to do something for somebody else.
And I never even thought, I mean, you're really changing, again, it's bikes for a cause, so it's not just for children, but when you get an adult that is down, and that really gets them to work to get a paycheck to
where they
live
can
tomorrow.
get a car. We have a local person who works at a local business in town, and we've become friendly with them, and they needed a bike to get to and from work, and they were down on their luck. They were struggling, and we were able to get them that bike, and they just bought a car 2 months ago. So that was really cool. We saw him riding his bike, and it had some worn out tires. We went to go get him new tires, and then he bought a car, so he didn't need it after all.
Wow.
We had a college girl that her car broke down, and she actually reached out to us. We got her a purple Schwinn mountain bike, and she was so ecstatic, and turns out that was actually a bike that she looked at when she was a child that she always wanted.
Yeah, she always wanted a Schwinn, and when we showed up with a Schwinn, she was so excited.
Wow. Now, is there stuff that you came across, obviously, when you start this? We're just going to give a bike to the neighbor kid, then it turns into 2 bikes and 5 bikes. As you guys go through this, is there something you guys came across that was like, okay, we didn't really see this coming, as far as whether it's a challenge or people being acceptance of it or the amount of people that are trying to help? And what's the biggest thing that was like, oh my gosh, I never would have thought?
It was definitely the requests. We went from having no bikes to we got 45 requests overnight one night, and we had sent a flyer to the school that our children go to, and there was a need. So we got 45 requests overnight. It was a lot, but thankfully we were able to get all 45 of those.
You got them all done though?
It took a month or 2.
I was gonna say, what's the timeline now? If I was to request a bike right now, what would be the turnaround right now? Obviously, winter time. Are you doing this in a heated shop, garage, yard?
Sadly, it's mainly in the yard and the garage. Our garage is not heated, and it's got our own stuff in it. So we have a small workspace to work on them, but we have been working and trying to get stuff done. He got a bike mount for Christmas where it kind of lifts the bike off the ground. It's easier to work on. He had it set up in the living room this weekend.
Yeah, actually working on one in the living room.
Well, any way need, or any way you can get it done when they're in need, I guess. Has it been, and you said you got a lot of adult bikes, so obviously it's more of the children's parents that are asking for kids or is it neighbors asking? I mean, what's the majority of how are you guys getting responses?
Most of
Majority
the
of
time,
it's-
it's either the parents or the person who is requesting the bikes. I do have, I've had a couple of friends of ours who have reached out and said, hey, you know, my neighbor, he's a vet, he doesn't have the ability to drive anymore, he was hoping to get a bike, and they've been able to handle that too.
Well, there's a lot to take in on this deal. From one bike to over 100.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and there's 100 sitting in my yard.
There's
I'd
probably
say,
a little more than 100.
yeah. Yeah, because Paul dropped off another 10 or so.
So this Paul, he's just
He,
Just-
for a living, he does scrap and he makes YouTube videos every day. He uploads a video, and if he sees something that he doesn't see a reason why it should go to the scrapyard, he'll find another way, which is when he saw us doing the bikes, he's like, this is perfect, because the amount of bikes you would
I would say he
scrap.
probably comes across a lot. I mean, I've thrown
Yeah.
out bikes that were actually fairly good bikes that
Oh, yeah.
Kids
either
outgrew.
outgrew or
Mhm.
you try for a week or so to tell people and you say, okay, this thing's just in my way.
Mhm.
Let's just get rid of it.
Yeah, when we first got in touch with him, it was 15, 20 bikes in a week he would just bring by.
Yeah.
And then as
It's
winter
slowed
time
down.
came, it slowed down.
Yeah, it's slowed down with winter, but I would say he probably brought us 10 to 15 bikes a week throughout the summer. Kids getting new bikes or whatever.
And obviously,
the
I
case.
imagine you guys come across some that is dropped off and you're just like, okay, there's no,
Yeah.
this one is too far gone.
Yes.
We're just gonna, what do you do with those then? You just junk them or give them back to
We give
to
them back
Paul?
to Paul.
Okay.
This one needs too much work. Unfortunately, there have been bikes where, you know, it's going to cost us $80 in parts. You got to put new shifters, you got to do new brake lines, you got to do new brake pads, you got to do new tires and tubes, and that adds up. If it's going to cost more than a new bike, it's not worth it.
That's defeating the cause. Yeah.
Yep.
But at least we give those back to Paul so he can actually scrap them. They're being recycled that way.
Correct. And what's Paul's YouTube channel?
Scrap and Pallet Man.
Scrap. And he's from local here then
Yep.
too, in the DeKalb Sycamore area?
Mhm. Yeah, there's also another bike guy. He refers to us as the bike couple on his Facebook or his YouTube page. And there's another bike guy in the area that does adult bikes and adult bikes only. So he normally gives us the smaller bikes, and then he gives him the bigger bikes.
Have you guys referenced people over there then? It's like,
Yeah.
okay, you guys can, he's more
Yeah.
gonna see you. Now, is this all non-profit, just
You
trying
know,
to help out?
truthfully, I don't know. I've never actually spoken to him. I just know about his existence from Paul.
Fair enough. So if you guys could go back to day one and give that bike, what would you guys change through the process of now, coming up on a year of this? Would you be a little bit more prepared for some things other than others? Would you just do it all over exactly the same, learn as you go?
We have definitely learned. With that first bike, we actually had to bring it back and do some repairs a couple weeks later.
That brings a good point then. So let's just say you guys gave away a bike. Again, all this stuff is used.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody that is done with anything with used, there may be problems.
Always.
Cars, bikes, it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys then obviously take that back and just do what you can, or
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we offer a grace period. They get 2 weeks. If anything goes wrong in those 2 weeks, we will fix it completely free, no questions asked. We do ask that if they need something repaired after those 2 weeks, that they cover the cost of the part. But that is it. We do the labor for free. Most of the time, the part is something as simple as they need a new tube, and I'll charge them whatever I paid. So, in instance, if they need a new tube, I paid $1 for it. I'm not going to charge them for it. It's $1.
fair enough. Is that what most common things are too? I mean, when I was a kid, it was always
tires, brake,
Brake
pads,
pads.
shifter cables, brake cables. Those are the most common. Tires are mainly the biggest one.
Yeah, I would say tubes and tires, because the tires dry rot. And then tubes, of course, you hit something and it pops the tube, and it is what it is.
And the bigger ones, bent rims.
Yeah, bent rims on the adult size bikes, I would say. Even the 20 inchers, if you get kids who are doing BMX stuff, that can bend the rim.
fair enough. Kids, don't be bending rims.
Yes.
This year we're gonna try and have two things going on. We want to have a thing set up to where if somebody wants to volunteer their time, we'll set up some sort of app where they can register, see what experience they have, and we can give them the easier bikes to work on. And the other thing we were thinking about doing was doing a training thing for the basic stuff, changing tires, fixing the chain, brake cables, pads, just the normal wear and tear. Because a lot of the times when people come to us, it's very simple fixes.
Yeah, their chain fell off. We've had that a handful of times where, the chain fell off because they were pedaling too hard or whatever it may have been, and they don't know how to put it back on. So we plan to post videos on the Facebook page of how to do those simple repairs.
Explaining why it's doing what it is, how to fix it, how to make sure it's okay.
Yeah, chain too loose, chain too tight.
Yep.
I mean, there's plenty of different things that, again, I imagine the kids are going to enjoy being able to fix their own stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Not having to
having
wait for a repair is always nice, and he learned as a kid how to fix his own stuff.
If it
So
broke, I had to figure it out and fix it. So
Right.
I learned how to
it
do
was
bike
nice
stuff
knowing that.
within the last year.
So do you guys work with any local businesses or entities to help out or anything to make this bigger than what it's already been?
Yeah, we recently were nominated by the DeKalb Environmental community we were nominated for what they call the Pride Award. And that is actually right here. It's people responsible for improving DeKalb's environment is what it stands for. And we did receive the award, and we plan to go to their event. They have an event coming up Earth Day weekend. I believe it's the weekend before Earth Day this year. And that's going to be at the Egyptian Theater. We'll have a booth set up. We'll have sign-ups if people need bikes or if people want to volunteer.
And then is there any businesses or anything, or let's just say if somebody was going to watch this and say, you know what, I want to get behind this, let's be honest, there's people out there that say nonprofit, somebody comes in and gives them $100 and then they really never know where that money went. They're assuming that it went to the right places and do the right things. If you guys were going to accept something, is there something you guys provide back to them, a receipt showing, hey, this is where your money went, we got 15 tires, this many inner tubes, or would you guys rather just accept the gifts on, hey, go get what you guys think? Or do you guys have a list that you can send people to say, hey, this is actually what we're in need of?
We do. We have an Amazon wish list that anybody can buy from. If they ship that to the hidden address on Amazon, that will come directly to us. In addition, if somebody does decide to give us a monetary donation, they can do that cash, PayPal, Cash App, or Venmo. All those links are online, and they would get a receipt in their email. We are a Illinois nonprofit. We are in the process of getting approved for the federal, so we do not have 501c3 yet. But since we are listed as a nonprofit organization in Illinois, we do have an EIN number, but it is considered nonprofit.